Payoffs and Reversals, the podcast companion to the book, Setups, Payoffs, and Reversals, the films of Shane Black. I wrote the book, and I host the podcast. My name is Jake Jabor, and in this podcast, we talk Shane Black movies. I have a friend come on, we talk about a particular film. I say that it's to promote the book, but really it's just to talk to my friends about movies I like. This week, we're talking Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with my very good friend Dan Lippert. You may know him from Big Grande, Comedy Bang Bang, or the Man Dog Pod. I hope you enjoy this conversation. It was very fun, and I hope that you check out the book if you like action movies or my writing or anything that came up here today. And if I can plug one other thing, I want to plug the podcast Happenstance with Jyotsna and Sam. They had me on over the summer. We talked about the Maltese Falcon. It's a podcast where we guess what happens in a movie we haven't seen. Or they guess, and then their guest guesses. I'm not a regular part of the podcast. Anyways, I was on there, and I was going to talk about it on this podcast when it was an improv podcast, but that last episode got lost in the hellscape that has been 2025. So I had a really fun time on that podcast. I think about Beyonce all the time as a result of that, and just wanted to give them a shout out. So check out Happenstance. You can find it on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And check out my book. You can find it at weimprov.org. It is off to the printing press, so it is available. I really appreciate you listening. Happy holidays and take care of yourselves. Thanks. Welcome to Setups, Payoffs, and Reversals, the podcast companion to the book Setups, Payoffs, and Reversals, the films of Shane Black. I should get this right eventually. I'm Jake Jabor. I wrote the book. I'm hosting the podcast, and I'm using the book as an excuse to do a podcast so that I can talk to my friends about some of my favorite movies. This week, I have a great friend, an actor, an improviser, a comedian, great at all those things as well. Please welcome Dan Lippert.
Hi, Jake.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here. Happy to talk SB. Excited to read your book.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we're going to be talking Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, right?
Yeah. What are you prepared to talk about?
No, that's what I'm prepared to talk. Well,
good.
As much as I put in preparation for it.
Yeah, no, I thought this was more of a. I was here to do like an intervention for you, but I guess we could talk Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, what are we intervening in my life?
I mean, the fact that you even have to ask means there's too many things. Yeah. Okay, which one am I caught on?
What'd you guys catch me doing? Yeah, an intervention would be appropriate for this. When do you remember when you first saw Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
It came out in 2005, right?
I believe so, yes.
I think I saw. I'm almost certain. Actually, I saw it in theaters in Tucson. There used to be a theater called the Crossroads, there were like three like it was an indie movie theater. So there are like three cinema spaces. What would you call it? Three theaters in the theater. I don't know.
Yeah, three. Yeah, three screens.
Three screens. Thank you.
Yeah.
And this was like college. I was at University of Arizona, and I saw at this same theater, I saw Garden State, I think 4 times. I saw Napoleon Dynamite like 3 times. And I think I saw Kiss Kiss Bang Bang like twice at this theater. So that's where I was in my life.
Wow. I can't wait for that Garden State podcast.
I'd be curious to rewatch it. It's the running joke with me and my girlfriend that we can't decide what to watch. And I'll just like put it on the TV and wait till she notices it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a very long time. It was introduced to me, I think, by my someone I was dating at the time, and then I got the soundtrack. I really got hypnotized, or almost feels like swindled by Zach Braff.
Yeah, what was that? Here's my theory.
Yeah,
is everyone wants to hate on him rightfully so or not. But really what we hate is where we were as in our individual life spans and experiences at the time. And we can't go around talking shit about ourselves, so we make fun of him in that movie.
Yeah, he touched on something that resonated with a lot of people, and then those people decided that they hated that part of their life.
Yeah.
So he has to take the brunt of it. That's a solid theory. Did you go in knowing it was a Shane Black movie? Did you?
I had very little knowledge of Shane Black. I don't think I really started to have an understanding of him as a creative person until probably Iron Man 3.
Oh, okay.
Where it was that's the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang guy. And then the obvious, Christmas again, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And then starting to, Last Boy Scout was a big movie for me growing up.
Yes.
And I think within the last year, you told me he wrote that. Directed it?
Just wrote it. Yeah.
Wrote it.
Okay. So that was new information when I told you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you knew it was Iron Man 3 and Iron Man 3 was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Did you have expectations going into Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? Did it grow on you?
I did not have any expectations. It's everything I kind of like thinking about, when we look back at things now, they seem inevitable.
Yeah.
But at the time they weren't. And I think Robert Downey Jr. is one of those things where it's this was before the kind of big return for him, right?
Yeah.
This led to Iron Man, according to Wikipedia. So I don't think I had much of an opinion about him, except there's a joke in Basketball about how a kid's been out drinking all night and then needs to get a surgery, and they smell his liver and they say it smells like Robert Downey Jr. So I was well, I guess there's something up with him. And I remember Ally McBeal, but I never watched it. So, and I remember being stunned with Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
In this movie. Not really remembering what my context for him was either, because I didn't really watch his earlier stuff until later in my life. And being oh, this guy's funny in this.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was kind of a sort of a resurgence or rebound for maybe all three of them a little bit. I feel like.
Yeah.
Because Val Kilmer was so big, then did Batman, and then it felt like, well, at least for the teenage version of me, he couldn't find another. It was The Saint, which I don't think I liked, and the one where he's blind and gets his vision back. He started to do at least less fun movies for me. So this was I think he was the thing that popped for me, because it was just playing in my friend's house. I hadn't even heard of the movie, and my friend had a roommate who was an early pirater, torrents and stuff.
Yeah.
So they were watching this movie, and I came in and I was what is this? It looked cool. It was immediately sort of engaging, and I think I was in college at the time, so I had gone I thought a knowledge of film culture, and this one just went totally under my radar, and I didn't know who Shane Black was at the time. I think this is the movie that sort of led to that discovery of who this guy was.
I'm sure the intent for, if you remember the early days of torrenting, when he saw something that said Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, it was not to an R-rated noir take.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was looking for a different type of movie, and I was oh, hey.
Boy, they're really taking a long time to get to the sex. This is mostly plot. Yeah, I should check in with that guy. I think he went into tech and is now very, very wealthy.
Oh yeah, all those early torrenters. Was his name Gabe or Mitch?
It was Ian.
Ian. Okay, I couldn't have predicted an Ian, but that feels right.
What? But I know a Gabe who did the same thing. Gabe had 3 monitors. It was the first time I'd seen that, and he was the one who convinced me to get an Apple. He explained to me why an Apple was a better computer.
Yeah.
And I
an Apple.
Yeah. A Mac.
Oh, well, based on my attempts of logging on today, I don't agree with Gabe. It took my Mac 13 minutes to open, which sounds like a kind of long time. It feels really long when you're just standing and watching that little bouncing ball.
That's insane. 13
I
minutes
know.
is too long.
I never use this either.
Yeah, makes sense why.
I'm trying to remember. My like ability to form actual memories of what I thought about things didn't start till within the last 10 years.
Okay.
So like, I don't think in college I really had a knowledge of like writers, directors, like auteurs and stuff like that, unless it was like someone like everyone knew Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know that I'd be like, oh, Shane Black, Lethal Weapon, like that. I would know that people did multiple things kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I can remember because this was also around the time, or college was around the time that Kill Bill came out. Like I remember seeing that in the theater, and sort of a recurring theme that keeps coming up is like how Shane Black, his the Last Boy Scout sold for 1.75 million, and then The Long Kiss Goodnight was like 4 million. So it was like he was a really well-known, successful screenwriter, but to this day, a lot of people have no idea who he is. But I feel like more people know who he is than any other action screenwriter. Like he fits this weird. It's like, you could say Quentin Tarantino, and my mom knows who that is. But you could talk to somebody who likes movies a lot, and they'd be like, "Oh, I don't really know who Shane Black is."
Yeah.
He never popped really.
But he does seem to be like my made up story. There's an episode of Entourage where they go to Brett Ratner's house.
Yeah.
And I imagine he's in that same world. Like that's how I picture him, of like 80s, 90s cocaine mansion, Hollywood parties. Like, I don't know if that's true, but that's what it feels like. So he was probably known by everyone for that reason, but not broadly known.
The opening party scene in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is his house.
I just read that and was shocked.
Yeah.
It's a very nice house.
In Lethal Weapon, in the script for Lethal Weapon, he describes a house as, "This is going to be the kind of house I get when this script sells."
Oh my God.
And then he kind of did it. He sort of manifested it. And that's his library. That Harmony is like flipping through all those books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it's his house or whatever, but so he did kind of. It
wasn't that he just had such a party house that he was like, I don't actually have a room that would work as a library. We have to shoot the library in a different house.
Yeah,
there's nowhere where it would make sense to have books in here. I guess we could change the mirror room. I don't know.
I have the Nice Guys, like, I don't know what kind of book you would call this, but it's like, it has pages from the script, or pictures of the script, and it has pictures from the movie. It's just kind of like a photo coffee table book for the Nice Guys. And he wrote the introduction to it. And he's like talking about his love for pulp novels. And he's like, he says something like, at one point, a half-naked woman was walking up my stairs, and she went, "Jesus, you have every shitty paperback in existence." Which I think is a funny thing to write into a book.
It was important for him to put the half-naked part.
Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to appeal to both horn dogs and nerds, intellectuals. Yeah.
There's a big crossover there, by the way. That's a very thick Venn diagram.
Do you watch this movie often?
This I would place in the pantheon of movies that I am scared to rewatch more, because I'm scared I'm going to become more judgmental of the more cheesy and misogynistic parts of Shane Black and homophobic. Like, it's very of an era where in 2005, in my limited experience of the world, it was actually thoughtful to have a gay character be like a, you know, heroic, the character in a movie that is not like the way it was presented to us a lot in the media was very offensive. And so this character didn't seem offensive, but now when I rewatch it, I'm like, well, it's a straight man. He's the butt of a lot of gay jokes throughout the movie. I don't imagine there were a lot of gay people on set. And if there were, I don't imagine they felt comfortable with it all. And so there's like, I get scared to rewatch this movie for that reason.
Yeah, that tracks. We've come a long way from the makeup guy in Mrs. Doubtfire. And in 2005, you were like, wow, Val Kilmer is playing the co-lead of this movie and he's gay.
And I already thought Gay Perry was like a clever name. It never occurred to me until like the last time I watched it that it was about like Paris, like Gay Perry.
Oh, well, you just blew my mind. Wow.
So there's a lot of depth to it, I think, which is what we respond to, is even when we don't know there's depth there.
Yeah. I sort of am kind of fascinated with this idea that, like, yeah, looking back at it now, it might be a little like make you uncomfortable, but I really struggle with this because it's like, I'm not trying to give him a award for equality, but in 2005, he was writing this movie and a college student who was the prime audience did have a takeaway of like, oh, cool. I clocked it.
Right.
And now, yeah, it's like, oh, it's still homophobic. And you're right. There's probably not people helping with the representation from that point of view. But there's also a little bit of like, it felt like that might be how you open the conversation for the demographic that he's writing about.
Yeah. And there's elements of it that the like things that I constantly wrestle with as a guy is when I was young, I thought like quippiness was so cool.
Yeah.
And it's like all the setup punchline of it and like the rat-a-tat and all that stuff. And as I get older, I'm like, I'm kind of embarrassed that I think it's cool. And sometimes I don't think it's cool. I think it's cheesy. And I would like imagine myself writing some of it and be like, oh man, this is very like what a high schooler thinks is cool and quippy. Yeah. And so that's even in there for some of my embarrassment. That being said, this was a movie I would watch like yearly. I used to love it. I still do. And I always respond to anything that has like I used to have a pretty big, like, had a crush on this person in high school and always wish we would like 10 years later meet up and like see where we were in our lives. So I responded to that even in high school and then like throughout the years of my life.
Yeah.
And the LA of it is very like fun and astute and interesting.
Absolutely.
To me.
Yeah, I think both of those, I think the LA part of it, I saw it before I moved here. And then I like went to the pool at the Standard, like that, which is the like hotel he stays at. And now that hotel is gone. And so it serves as kind of like this cool landmark that I feel like I got the opportunity to sort of like see, and go like, oh yeah, like, that feels like an LA that is, that is within reach kind of. And I don't know if you read this in the Wikipedia, but he was trying to write like a James L. Brooks style straight like romance, and he gave it to James L. Brooks and he was like, this is bad. And then he included a dead body and then it all came together. So that like finding somebody that you had a crush on 10 years later and everything, you like see that sort of like James L. Brooks style to it.
I I think of before I tried to go to the Standard 3 times, and every time waited in line for 45 minutes. And left. And so I had never actually been into the Standard. Like, I remember watching on my like fourth watch or whatever. It was after I lived in LA. And I was like, oh, that place.
Oh, that place that won't let me in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the first like hotel pools I went to. And I don't remember how I stayed there for a 4th of July once.
Wow. This is the downtown one, the Hollywood one.
The downtown one. I stayed at the Hollywood one time too for an anniversary, I think. They were so fun, but apparently they were not solvent enough to outlast a pandemic. Damn.
Pour one out for the upside down S.
Yeah. Pour one up for that. Yeah, I where does this fit in terms of like, how do you feel about action movies in general? And does this one oh, I like this more than I like action movies, or I like action movies and I like this one in specific? Like, do you have a relationship outside of this movie with action movies?
There were eras in my life where I would have said this was like my favorite movie or put it in like my top 5. Yeah, I loved this movie for a really long time. And I really like, I have a funny thing where it's like, if I listed like movies that could considerably be in my whatever top 25, a lot of them would be noir, but like noir takes on noir. Like I never watched like the 30s, 40s, 50s, like original noir. I haven't really read many noir books, but like Chinatown, Roger Rabbit, and this are some of my favorite movies. And they're all like post-noir. So there's something about the style that I like, but not the original style, I guess, is attractive to me, like a modernized version of it.
What do you think? Because I'm similar. What do you think that is?
I don't know. I think I like... I really don't know. I just like respond to them. I think there's an element of... I like a genre where there's expectation, but it's also like breakable.
Yeah.
And I like... I mean, like, as people who come from a Herald background, like it's like existing in a structure, but then being really creative.
Yeah.
And there's no better example of that than Roger Rabbit. But I think even this is like a really creative way to frame a noir. Like the jumping off point is that he's a criminal and he falls into an audition and then gets brought out to LA and like becomes a detective by accident. It's the whole structure, but it's all totally different from anything I had ever really seen.
Yeah. I'm so similar in that, like, I almost like the idea of noir. Like, I'm looking at a copy of The Big Sleep on my bookshelf and it's like, I haven't read it. But
you keep trying to, but you keep falling a big sleep.
Yeah, I keep falling a big sleep. And then I try and watch The Maltese Falcon and I buy a bird. But yeah, it's like I need one step removed from it. Like there's something that's like, I don't know if it's generational, but I like the idea of a mystery being solved and it being kind of like all those elements of something seedy happening. And he does, I think Kiss Kiss Bang Bang it used to be one of my favorite movies too. And the last rewatch, I was like, the voiceover's a little much for me now. Like it appealed to me in college. And now it's like a little annoying. Yeah,
it's interesting that like both your own era and like what's happened over time. Like if you had never seen the movie and now as a person who'd been alive for a few decades watched it for the first time, would the voiceover be annoying because of where you are in your life, or because it's the first time you'd seen it, would you like it?
Oh, I don't know. Man, it's tough because I think it was novel at the time. Like, it sort of felt a little like Arrested Development, where it was like Ron Howard is like taking you through this and he's kind of talking to you and describing what's happening. And that was so appealing at that point in time. And now I find both of them to be a little like obnoxious. And I wonder if that is an overexposure to it. It's also that cleverness or that quippiness. Like when the film reel stops and he's like, I'm such a bad narrator. It was like, I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
And I think that was some of the appeal that his first script had. Like people were like, he's talking to the reader as he's writing this script. And now his movie is talking to the audience. Like, I don't know if I would have clocked it if it didn't have those elements. I think I would have, because the script is so fun. And I came in at the Russian roulette scene, which like blew me away. And I still think is maybe the best scene in any of his movies. Because it's what you're talking about. It's like, it has a structure, that scene of like, we're going to put one bullet in the gun and we're going to interrogate you. And it takes such a 180 out of the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more I'm thinking about it as I'm hearing you talk, I think the things that I like are audacity.
Yeah.
And not just audacity for the sake of audacity, like it actually works and it pays off. And I think his movies have a lot of that. And this has a lot of that. That one bullet thing, the like shooting into the trunk being a problem for the movie, like to try to open it. I'm trying to remember what other ones but anyway, like those kind of moves. And on top of it, I think there's a thing with noir, again, to be nerdy about. I'm guessing a lot of people listen to this know improv, but the Herald, like the thing this movie has is everything matters and is used later on. And I think that like sticks with me. I'm always like impressed with that. And a lot of stuff that like on the fourth watch, you realize. I think there was something in the Wikipedia where I was like, oh, I never realized this, where it was like he goes to the party the second time and it's a lot of the same people from the first party.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I didn't know the gay Paris thing. There is constantly stuff that is like, it's like there is no filler. There is no like fat on this movie, that everything sort of comes around. And
him peeing on the dead body was the other one I was trying to think of.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite exchange of all time. Like that hits so hard, is so funny. And I had to I put on subtitles for that because Val Kilmer says, "What in a plutonic hell or something?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "What is that word? Like, I don't even know that."
Did you look it up?
Yeah, and I forgot. Do you know what it is?
No, I don't.
It's like a perfectly cold or something like that. But the most recent watch for me, he Val Kilmer's character, like on multiple occasions, asks Robert Downey Jr. who taught him things. He's like, who taught you grammar? Who taught you math? And I love when she corrects him on using the adverb badly, and then he tries to correct Val Kilmer on it. It's just it is so dense. Audacious is a great way to put it. And it just it does feel like, oh, this is post-noir from somebody who has studied it so thoroughly that they're able to go well, you say this or do this for a reason. You don't just plug this in to plug it in.
Yeah.
So that, to borrow that Herald thing a little bit, or maybe just an improv thing in general, it's you'll see people make a move that they've seen somebody else make, and it's they're sort of copying the assignment, but they're not really understanding the assignment. And I think he always understands the assignment.
People taking a big, long spiral staircase to get to somewhere else on the stage. It's I know you saw someone else do that.
I almost can't not take a big. That's me for sure. I think the one I see the one I was noticed the most is when somebody goes Mr. Picard or whatever, and then someone goes like, it's Picard, like they correct the name to do it a different way.
Yeah.
And
I forgot about that. I haven't seen that in a while.
And it's like, yeah, you saw somebody do it, it got a laugh. It doesn't really, it's never the game, but it's like a nod to the craft or whatever in sort of a very surface level way.
Yeah. Him getting his finger cut off, that was the other audacious part. Then losing it a second time and the dog eating it.
Yeah, there feels like there's real. I remember that scene and going like, whoa, like shit is happening.
Yeah.
Like, the main character just lost his finger.
I think that was in the trailer. I think I remember that like sticking with me as being like something in the trailer that was like, what happened here?
Yeah.
And he gets a door. I'm always waiting for it. He gets a door slammed on him earlier in the movie, and I think it's going to be that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. It is a movie that like rewards a rewatch.
Yeah.
And I would be curious because one sort of big theme for me is like, I don't really understand the plots of any of his movies. Like I do now that I've spent time thinking about them, but every single one of them I would have probably watched 5 or 6 times. And if you were like, okay, so what happens? I would be like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
The
it's very impactful. Val Kilmer going and hitting the pedophile on his deathbed. And I was like, what? Who is that guy? Why is he doing that again? And I think I understand that it is the mother of Michelle Monaghan's character's sister, or the father of.
Yes.
But man, it's a journey.
It's such a journey there. And the villain, the big bad, is like so subtly introduced. He just like has a conversation. And they even stop the film and be like, that was an exposition scene or whatever. But they don't tell you that's the villain. And I remember it was like the 3rd or 4th watch where Robert Downey Jr. is like hanging from the coffin and he shoots the guy. And I was like, oh, that's the villain. Like, that guy's gone now. And it's like he's gone along with like 3 or 4 other people in a very unceremonious way. And I think that is also kind of audacious to be like, we're not going to do a big showdown. We're not going to like have them duke it out. I've done that a bunch of times. He's going to get shot. A bunch of other people are going to get shot. And then that's it. Go ahead. I was going to say the other, now I'm just listing scenes, but at the end when he's like, Val Kilmer's character Perry survives and he's like, I know it sucks, but what can I tell you? And he's like, why not bring them all back? And they like shuffle in characters who have been killed, including Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And like, that's almost a Naked Gun joke.
Whether or not it's true, you get the impression that the movie got notes and then is then commenting on it. Like, or like, I think I felt like the first time I watched it, oh, this was a movie someone else wrote as a straight movie, and then they brought on another writer to make fun of the movie while improving it. Like that was the feeling it had.
Yeah. It does have that feeling. That's I cited the like, oh, why is that exposition scene in there? As like an example of, because this is the first movie that he directs. So he's got kind of more control over what's happening. But he's still kind of like a little like, he's almost like snobby about his own movie that he's writing. Like, I wish there was a better way to do this scene. So I'm just going to comment on how this is how it has to happen. But I think, and this is why I wanted to do these interviews after writing the book so that I didn't be compelled to go like, Dan was right, and then go back and write your stuff. And I think like it does feel like it might be a little bit of a comment on the notes part of a script of being like, you can't have Perry die at the end of it or whatever. And so, what's the fun version?
It doesn't test well.
Yeah.
I want to read you 2 Letterboxd reviews of this movie.
Oh, please.
Because it was a really eye-opening of like, you really can't take anyone's point of view. as truth. So, okay, here this person says they're comparing Kiss Kiss Bang Bang to Nice Guys, and they don't like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. In short, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is more juvenile than the Nice Guys, and Nice Guys is more mature, and because of that, the humor hits me. Here in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, it disgusts me. There's a small throwaway scene that drives this home for me. In Kiss Kiss Bang Bang at the party, a woman introduces herself as an actress, and it cuts to her topless and screaming in a cheap horror movie. The joke is at her expense. We're supposed to dismiss her entire personhood because of the TNA in a cheap horror flick. So it's like, it's a misogynistic movie is kind of what they're getting at. This other person says, unfortunately, I had to stomach the nauseatingly woke commentary from 2005. I get how it's parodying and updating, literalizing the classic noir protagonist, but that doesn't make me think it was intelligently doing it or entertainingly doing it. So one person thinks it's misogynistic and the other person thinks it's woke.
Whoa.
And it's like, okay, well, you just can't really put your salt in what one person says about anything.
That's on the one hand, that's terrifying to me. As somebody who's spent a lot of time writing about his films and sort of wrestling with like, what is my take on some of these areas? And on the other hand, it's very liberating to be like, I don't think no one person is going to be more right or wrong than the other person.
Yeah. And one thing that the funny thing about like the whatever Twitter, TikTok, Letterboxd world is, the point of criticism is like you kind of are supposed to talk about the craft and how people are using it to achieve and what you think they're trying to achieve and whether or not they did it, whatever. And people miss that part and they just bring in their own personal experience and they go, nope, that's misogynistic, or like, nope, that's woke. And it's like, you're not actually critiquing the art here.
Right.
You're just telling us your feelings, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I think people conflate the two.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I was pausing because the Nice Guys, I had that experience where I was like telling my partner at the time, like, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. I loved it. And what felt like seconds later, her friend came over and was like, I just saw the most misogynistic movie, The Nice Guys. Like, literally, like, right after I was like, this movie rules. So then I stopped talking about it, at least in front of my partner at the time. I don't know. I sort of make the case that like there is development over the course of his filmography that's like Lethal Weapon was the only time they're cops. Then it's like detectives and spies and people who are thieves and dirtbags. Like the status in society, so where the characters are in society, their status goes lower, which in turn makes their like it's like it's not a cop with a badge shooting a bunch of people. It's like a dipshit thief who kills a bunch of people in self-defense at the end. Like there is this kind of progress of like, this isn't propaganda, but I don't know that his audience cares or thinks about it. Like that person going like, this movie is too woke. And the Predator has the Predator, he gives a kid, he puts a kid on the autism spectrum and it like does not work at all. And that feels like a very forced move. But I think in all the other films, it's like, these are not redeeming characters. They're not like, you're not supposed to be looking at them and going like, these guys are heroes. It's like, they're dipshits who kind of accidentally solve a crime. And I think the cool thing about it is like, they show a little growth over the course of the movie, but it never feels, for the most part, ham-fisted. And it's like, when I first watched those movies, I thought they were all like, these are all buddy cop movies. And it's like, they're not really. He doesn't really play around with buddy cop stuff. Like Rush Hour is a buddy cop franchise. Even 21 Jump Street is like a buddy cop franchise. That's poking fun at the genre. But his movies are like, and Kiss, yeah, it's like a private investigator and like a bad thief that stop a cover up for like an estate that a old movie star is trying to get. Like, dealing in seedy situations.
Yeah. And I would say, like, well, I don't know. To anyone, feel free to tell me I'm wrong here. But I really like both the performance and the character for the Michelle Monaghan character of like, it's an interesting, to me, like 3-dimensional take on like, so this is the person who was like the prettiest in high school, moves to LA, and like the torture you get put through. There's that line of like her making fun of the woman at the bar for being like 30 and like it's over. And he's like, how old are you? And she's like 31 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I also just like Michelle Monaghan, which my girlfriend makes fun of me for all the time, but so I might be blinded by that, but
she's great. I think like often I think Kiss Kiss Bang Bang in the same way that you were talking about, like, sort of poking fun at the notes studio notes. Like, it feels to me more of a movie written by a guy who is kind of like loves LA, but also thinks it's like fucks people up and is kind of shitty. Like, the thing I think about with Michelle Monaghan's character and Robert Downey Jr.'s character is like they both need each other to see that they're more than what the rest of the world has told them they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's like, you think I'm amazing or whatever, and it's like she kind of needs to hear that from him, and he gets to pretend to be a PI, like he gets to do something that has value, even though he's like lying to her. And the fact that they don't end up together, I also think is a cool subversion of the genre. Of like, at the end of the movie, he says like, at the end, this was a story about friendship, and he's with Perry, so you're kind of like, oh yeah, they're friends, but it's like Perry hired him, and it does feel like the friendship was between the two of them. Like, after the hospital, we don't see her again. There's no scene with the two of them together. They never slept together. It's like they both kind of pulled each other out and were like, I remember who you were and wanted to be, and that still has value, even though like your life hasn't turned out the way you thought it had. Like, I'm a person who reflects a version of you that is the version you wanted to be or whatever. So I think that, and it's like, that's me reading into it, and I could be wrong too, but it's like, I like that about the movie. Like,
yeah. I think that's nicely said.
Yeah. I think like it's giving LA as much shit as it is like making fun of a woman at the expense of her. It's like, Michelle Monaghan's flight ends up with they replaced her in the stupid beer commercial.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, the beer commercial is stupid. Like, what do I know? I eat the heads off fishes or whatever. It's like, and the prototype guy, right? Like, the way she gets put on television is because a guy who used to be a RoboCop guy watched a rerun and became despondent and got drunk and wandered around in the costume. It's like, I don't think that's like, I think that's the same take as showing the woman who's topless and gets her head cut off. Is like, LA reduces people to this like caricature, and you can make something out of it and it's great, but it happens to so many people. Like, she says it in the interview. She's like, I'm going to misquote it, but she's like, this city like gets off on like, like punching down on people.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, to me, that's kind of what he's saying. More than these people suck. It's like, you move out to LA and you find yourself being like, I used to be proto cop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anything about this last rewatch as we wrap up? Anything that stood out to you? or anything we didn't talk about that you like about it?
The one thing that I thought was interesting, we were sending each other back and forth James Cameron interviews, and he talks about in one of them how like he thinks most of the success of a movie happens in pre-production, and I think. I mean, this movie didn't succeed, I guess, but where it succeeds for me is like it's just like a very winning cast. Yeah. They really work well with each other. I saw, as I'm sure you did on Wikipedia, that they considered Benicio del Toro and Johnny Knoxville for the lead.
What?
And I was like, if this was a Johnny Knoxville movie, it's a different movie. It doesn't really work. Like Robert Downey Jr. does a lot really well, and is so compelling in it.
Yeah.
And is a funny sliding doors of like, does that mean Johnny Knoxville was Iron Man? And it just fucking tanks.
Yeah.
And we never get the Marvel verse.
Wow. Yeah. I love that because I think they're both, everybody is kind of rebounding at that point. And so like, you're getting very skilled people doing something that like had their careers taken off, they wouldn't have done probably. Like they would have been doing bigger budget, higher caliber stuff. And so you get them all doing this. And then Robert Downey Jr. gets to be Iron Man. And then he brings on Shane Black to do Iron Man 3. And Iron Man 3 is a movie about Iron Man not being Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like, it is such a representation in my mind of an actor and a screenwriter who were given the keys and kind of fucked it up and had to realize like, oh, I'm not just a high paid screenwriter and I'm not just like this wonderkind actor. Like they had to get very low and then kind of come out of it. And then they partner up to tell a movie about a guy whose suit's taken away and he's kind of running around in Tennessee. And and his little kid partner is like, you're a mechanic, make something. It's like, you're an actor, act. You're a writer, write. Like, you don't have to have the big, flashy sort of Hollywood version of it. And I don't think we get any of that stuff. If their careers had been more successful earlier on, because I don't think they make this movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you heard this, but Shane Black was rejected from the Academy for screenwriting after he'd had 5 scripts, and they rejected him and said, come back to us when you have like a longer resume.
I saw he was rejected. I didn't really know what that meant. Like, what the Academy is and why you want to be in it. But I didn't realize that part of it was that he was that deep into his career, and that's why they said no.
Because they were like, you just write shitty action movies.
Yeah.
And so he tries to write a James L. Brooks script, and he can't do it. But he writes this version, and then he gets Robert Downey Jr. So it's like, a big part of the book is talking about like how his life reflects his movies, and you can't really control that. Of like, he is a guy who falls backwards into being a detective. He's a guy who falls backwards into being the highest paid screenwriter. Not that he wasn't talented or whatever. And it's like, he gets in over his head, he flounders, and then he makes something because he's been rejected. And that thing that he makes allows for Robert Downey Jr. to have this second career and bring him along. Like, I just think it's he does it well. You and I watched the John Candy documentary, and it was like, here's a nice guy who things just kind of went his way until he died.
Yeah.
And it's like Shane Black is a guy who's like, you would think with everything he does, he would get more successful, but somehow it's the movie bombs or it isn't received well. And then he has to do something different, and that puts him in a different position to make a thing that then gets underappreciated or becomes a cult classic, and then that gives him an opportunity to do a bigger thing, and then people don't like that bigger thing. Like, his life is kind of a roller coaster of sort of setups and payoffs. Not to do that, but I did.
You should do that. Are you doing any sort of ranking of the movies in the book, or like your own experience of his movies?
I didn't. Other than saying like I think Lethal Weapon is my fifth favorite, even though I think we don't get any of them without it, and The Nice Guys is probably my favorite. I don't sort of do any other ranking, but I try and go like, I have each movie has like, I based it off of an X-Men encyclopedia I read as a kid where
Nice.
it would be like, this is Iceman and these are his powers, and then it'd be like strength 8 out of 10, or like, so I did like cheap tricks, and so it's like the scene in the movie that I think is the most like Shane Black scene, that's sort of like a setup, a payoff, a subversion, like, so it's like the Russian roulette scene. And then I have like a section called like next one's coming faster, which is a line from an episode of Justified. And talk about quippy, but Timothy Oliphant's character kicks the shit out of a guy and then takes his gun out and ejects a bullet and drops it on the guy's chest, and he's like, the next one's coming faster. And it's like, that is you can't do that in real life, but that is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yes.
So then there's a section that's like, what do I think the coolest line in the movie is? Or the most like Shane Black line that feels like ripped from the pages, sort
of. This is a little different, but I recently had an Uber driver whose life didn't sound very good, and so I like left and I tipped him really well, and I was just to do it. Yeah. But there was, and I wasn't intending to really tell people, but there was a small part of me that was like, I just did that and I want to tell everyone I did that. Like, I won't even get, I'll never see him again. He doesn't even say thank you to me. And so the reason I did it was just to do it, but there was that small part of me, and I'm wondering what the extremity of what that would feel like if I said the next one's coming faster and no one alive was around. Just like, I hope this kind of comes up naturally so I can retell it to somebody. I can't just bring it up to somebody that I said that.
Yeah, it's that's brutal. It's like you'll watch a documentary and they'll be like, so and so paid for everybody's Thanksgiving dinner in the city he grew up in, and he made sure that it's the Curb Your Enthusiasm of like the anonymous donor or whatever. And it's like, God, nobody's going to be around. Nobody was in the Uber with me to be like, I saw Dan tip a guy who's having a tough time. That's why you just got to do it for yourself.
Which I mostly did.
Which you mostly did. Yeah, I mean.
But I still had that feeling.
That is as an improviser, that's like a real, sometimes Caroline will be like, how'd the show go? And it's like, man, I had a really great button, but I don't think I'll be telling her.
Yes. Oh, man. I said this thing and everybody laughed.
I brought it back. I said it at the beginning and I said it at the end.
It was so clever. It was such a good connection.
Yeah. That has, I think that might forever change the way I think about like fun lines in movies, because it's like, it's usually said to the guy and then the guy is killed.
Yeah.
So it's like literally nobody heard it, right? Like the Dark Knight has a version of it where Batman is on the roof, I think, and The Dark Knight Rises maybe, and he's talking to Catwoman, and then he like turns around and then he turns back and she's gone, and he goes, that's what that feels like.
Yeah.
Why are you doing the voice? Nobody's there. But it would be insane for him to not do the voice in the mask and go like, that's what that feels like. Yeah.
I wonder, they should, because, well, maybe in his mind, when the mask is on, you can't even risk breaking character. Because if someone overheard that and was like, Bruce? It's like, oh, fuck, I thought I was alone up here.
Yeah, he's got to push a kid off the roof. That's great, man. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having me. Excited to read the book.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it'll be full of lots of opinions that are masked as criticism.
No, you're a thoughtful writer when it comes to that stuff.
Thanks, man. Anything you want to let people know about?
Let's see. Check out the Man Dog podcast. By the time this comes out, Jake's episode will be out, and it was a really fun one with Jake and Shakira Pay. It's an improv and conversation podcast. There's BigGrandewebsite.com for everything Big Grande does. There is CBB World, where I do a couple paywalled podcasts, and there is the. I'll just say if you're listening to this, you probably know about We, but I've really been enjoying teaching classes at We. If you're in the LA area. Take one of my classes or take any of them. But one of mine is what I'd like to promote.
All right. Well, I got cut off as I was saying, please take one of Dan's classes. Dan, that's very kind. Yeah, come check out We Improv. We're having a blast. And thanks again, buddy.
Thank you. Good luck with the book.
Thanks so much. See you later.
Later.
Bye. All right. That was Dan Lippert, the man, the myth, the legend, talking Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Thank you so much for listening. It really feels like a cherry on the top to have anybody listen, as this has just been very rewarding for me and a blast to get to talk to my friends about some of my favorite movies. So I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you like action movies or Shane Black or my writing, consider picking up the book Setups, Payoffs, and Reversals, The Films of Shane Black. Available now. It's all set at weimprov.org. Click on the merch page. And it'll be available everywhere probably by January. Thanks again for listening. Happy holidays. Ta-ta.